Liminal spaces, an obsession of the internet at large for going on 6 years now. The emptiness of abandoned office spaces and dead malls stir within these communities a feeling like no other. Being just as susceptible to internet trends as the next person, I too have been interested in these odd yet interesting hiccups in our world. For the past few years, I've been sure to capture any strange-looking mattress stores or malls at night that I enter. With a little editing, you can make anything seem creepy. I found that you really can't set out to take these photos. You have to just stumble across them naturally. That's probably where a good bit of the horror part of liminal spaces comes from, that they exist all around us and we enter them unintentionally. You started just walking around a building on your campus in the evening and boom, a long dark hallway. Or going to the mall for a movie, bam, giant empty room that connects to the Coles. It's often discussed what features of a space actually make something liminal. Can they be outdoors? Can there be people in them? Can it be bright or does it have to be dark? Categorization continues to be difficult, and I think it's still kind of impossible to really lock in a list of features that work universally. Like all art, liminality is subjective. Where one person is unaffected by the empty furniture store, some are terrified. That's kind of another thing. These things really don't scare me. I think this is just my reaction to horror generally, but I've never really been scared of liminal spaces. Reading comments on those images that feel familiar compilations, a lot of people seem to agree. They're more intriguing than horrific. I think these places act more like strange amalgams of the modern world, taking the familiar context of everyday life and placing them somewhere outside that original context. Without something to go along with them, they just act as interesting looks into the way that everyday life can become strange. But when they're attached to something else, there may be a way to make them scary. Addressing the infinitely expanding yellow elephant in the room, The Backrooms is one of the most popular adaptations of liminal spaces into the world of online storytelling. If you're watching this video, you know where it comes from. Blah blah 4chan thread, yada yada Wisconsin furniture store. I know, you know, let's just move on. By appending the 10 million square miles of nothing and no clipping through reality to the original image, the actual horror comes out. The original premise works really well. A nonsensical empty space with nothing in it that anyone unlucky enough can become trapped in forever makes these liminal elements scary. It makes these places seem like a kind of trap, looking just normal enough to draw someone in. The features that were once uncomfortable or benign are now hostile, trapping you in its yellow walls with buzzing lights until you die. It doesn't even seem to intentionally bring people to it, it just absorbs them without a second thought. Even in my previous sentences, I apply some kind of intelligence to it, but that's too much of a stretch. This is the horror of liminality, the endless, meaningless space that traps you for no reason. But of course, even in the original post, they add on just that little unnecessary part. From this thread sparked a million different adaptations and interpretations, gobbling up every other liminal space image you could find and rewriting it into the new canon of The Backrooms. This canon is mainly explored on the Backrooms Wiki, an interconnected series of articles chronicling the strange world of the Backrooms and its many levels and entities. If you could guess, I'm not really a big fan of what this site does with the story. It becomes less of an unsettling myth and something closer to a Roblox horror game. There's thousands of levels, all with their own analog horror monster to pose for YouTube thumbnails in. Not to knock anyone who likes this kind of thing or contributes to collaborative writing projects like this, it's just not what I came to appreciate from many of the other Backrooms related things. The whole concept of entities just really changes what's actually scary about this place. The more monsters you have roaming around, the easier it is to understand what this place is supposed to be. It's just a spooky other dimension that just so happens to be made up of office buildings and the moon. I think for a lot of people, when they think Backrooms media, they think Cane Pixels. The Cane Pixels Backroom series is pretty close to the perfect interpretation of this idea and does a great job at making it work well in a narrative. Not even to mention the photoreal blending work he's been doing since he was like 17. I continue to feel bad for myself every time I watch one of these videos because, like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? It takes what's a pretty interesting idea into a conspiracy thriller that works in the best parts of the concept. Like many other series, it has a few monsters and spooky objects, but it uses them sparingly and are mainly there to accent the horror of the space in general. It would be kind of hard to make a multiple hour-long series where people walk around empty play spaces and offices. The horror of the place itself is still what's at the forefront of the series, though, with the added part that it's probably filled with bacteria that kills you slowly. This heightens the original concept, where being in the space itself is what kills you, almost like it's digesting everything it captures. With a movie on the way and more episodes coming out soon, I'm more than excited to see how this series continues. Kane has also made a couple other series along with the Backrooms. The Oldest View may actually be my favorite YouTube series I've ever seen, and it continues to blow me away on every rewatch. I guess what I'm trying to say is that these stories seem to work best for me when they leave things ambiguous. In many of them, there's a tendency to explain or rationalize the existence of the backrooms, but that seems to neglect what actually makes them scary. That irrationality, purposelessness, and randomness is actually what makes them effective. This is going to be my furthest call, but liminal spaces are what's left of the pre-internet world. Places where we once congregated that are now left abandoned. Offices where people spent their days, malls where we met, stores where we shopped, each left behind as it became more simple and less cost-effective to keep these physical spaces. Their shapes and features made for these specific purposes, now alien on their own. What's left is an outside world that is devoid of its original purpose, devoid of its original intentions. Some may still hold on, but every day our world slips further and further into the emptiness of liminality as it becomes easier to reach the outside world from the inside. It's not hard to see why people of a certain age have become so interested in liminal spaces. With its popularity beginning around the same time as the start of the pandemic, a yearning for a simpler and more connected time seems to sprout up. It seems to me like we're all searching for a way back to those times. Times of perceived simplicity and understanding, but that just comes from our retrospective view. Y2K, Scene, Digicams, NeoCity, artifacts of our recent past that have seemed to come back to us. Maybe it's just that everything old is new again, but it seems deeper than that. We live in a deeply troubling world that gets more unsettling and disconnected every day. Maybe this is just another way of looking back. Those strange places bring us back to a time where we were unaware of the problems of the world. Maybe in our world of injustice, hatred, and death, it's better to wander the halls of our forgotten present. Hello. Thank you for watching the end of this video. And thank you for watching the last video as well. And for all the kind words anybody has left in the comments. A very special thank you to you guys. You're all very nice. And to talk about this video and its lack of, original stuff from me, this is just a little, in-between part while I'm working on a bigger thing that I'm writing right now that is definitely, it's pretty much, all my own stuff. So that's coming along well. So this is this in between that. I like liminal spaces. I think they're a lot of fun. So, yeah. Thank you again for watching, and get ready for some new stuff very soon. All right, bye.